Have you ever found yourself gazing into the future, a knot of apprehension tightening in your chest as you wonder if growing older inevitably means slowing down, surrendering to the relentless march of aches, pains, and those tired, foggy mornings? What if the chorus of voices telling you that a daily handful of pills and a gradual decline are just part of aging is, quite frankly, wrong? Imagine for a moment a different reality, one where your later years are not defined by limitations, but by liberation, clarity, and an invigorating zest for life. Well, I'm here at 94 years young, living proof that this isn't some far-fetched dream. I live independently. I don't rely on a single prescription medication, and just last year, my doctor, after poring over my test results, simply shook his head in disbelief and asked, "What on earth is your secret?" The delightful truth is, it's not a secret shrouded in expensive routines or elusive products. It's a series of 5 incredibly simple, thoughtful choices I make every single morning. Habits that anyone, regardless of their current age or condition, can begin to weave into their own lives. These small, consistent actions have been my steadfast companions, helping me maintain a clear mind, a mobile body, and a spirit brimming with life, even as many of my peers are sadly advised to take it easy and accept a diminishing quality of life. But here's the kicker, the part that might make you sit up a little straighter. One of these transformative habits, a cornerstone of my vitality, takes less than 5 minutes, yet it's astonishingly overlooked by the vast majority of seniors. And this tiny, almost effortless omission could be silently, insidiously accelerating memory loss and sapping your precious energy day by day without you even realizing the profound connection. It doesn't have to be this way. I've witnessed too many dear friends begin to falter, not due to some catastrophic health crisis, but because the seemingly insignificant daily rituals, the foundational acts of self-care, were unintentionally neglected. That's precisely why I feel compelled to share this with you, because that very first hour of your day holds immense power. It can either be the gentle wind that lifts your sails or the slow, steady current that gradually wears you down. So, lean in, stay with me, because in just a moment, I'm going to walk you through each of these 5 life-enhancing habits, starting with the one that almost no one talks about, yet it could be the very key you've been searching for. Before my feet even think about touching the floor, before the curtains are drawn to greet the day, and certainly before the siren song of my phone has a chance to beckon, I perform a ritual so simple, yet so profound, it has become the bedrock of my morning. I sit up in bed, reach for a glass of water I prepared the night before, and drink it down. But this isn't just any water, it contains a tiny, almost imperceptible pinch of natural sea salt. That's it. No elaborate green juice concoctions, no expensive supplements, just good old room temperature water, enhanced with a touch of nature's minerals, waiting patiently on my nightstand so I don't even have to break the peaceful cocoon of my bed to begin this vital process. Now, you might be thinking, really? Just water? How can something so basic make such a difference? But here's the crucial insight that most people miss. While you're lost in dreams, your body is a hive of activity, diligently repairing, restoring, and, in the process, steadily losing water. Through every breath we exhale, through the perspiration our skin releases, we can lose nearly a liter of fluid overnight, often without the slightest awareness. This means that when you wake, you're essentially starting your day in a state of dehydration. And for those of us in our golden years, dehydration isn't just a matter of feeling a little parched. It can insidiously affect your joint mobility, cloud your memory, compromise your balance, and disrupt your digestion. Virtually every system in your body can feel the strain. Yet, what's the first thing many of us instinctively reach for? A comforting cup of coffee or tea. While these beverages have their place, the caffeine they contain actually acts as a diuretic, pulling even more water out of your system. You're essentially asking your body to run on empty right from the get-go. When I made the conscious switch to prioritize water, specifically this salted water, before anything else, the difference was almost immediate and undeniably noticeable. The persistent stiffness in my knees began to ease. That morning mental fog I had resignedly accepted as an inevitable companion to aging started to lift, and even my digestion felt smoother, more reliable. It was as if my entire body let out a collective, quiet sigh of thank you. And this isn't just my anecdotal experience. Science strongly supports this practice. A compelling study from Johns Hopkins University revealed that even mild dehydration in adults over 65 can diminish brain function by nearly 30%. That's a staggering drop in mental clarity simply from not adequately hydrating first thing. The pinch of natural sea salt, think Himalayan pink salt or unprocessed sea salt, not refined table salt, is what elevates this habit. It introduces essential trace minerals like magnesium and potassium, which your body desperately needs to help your cells actually absorb and retain the water rather than just letting it flush straight through. It's like giving your body the key to unlock the full hydrating potential of the water it's craving. And the most beautiful part, it takes less than a minute. I call it the first 60 seconds that rewire everything, because that's truly what it feels like. It gently awakens your system, supports your joints, clears your head, and gets your digestive processes moving. It's a tiny, powerful act of self-care that sets a positive, revitalizing tone for the entire day. So I invite you tonight, before you drift off to sleep, pour yourself a glass of water, add that minuscule pinch of natural salt, and place it on your nightstand. Tomorrow morning, make it the very first thing you do. One simple glass, one quiet minute. No fuss, no excuses. It may seem incredibly small, but these are the very kinds of deliberate choices that empower us to remain independent, energized, and mentally sharp, well into our most cherished years. Just let your body feel the difference and witness how gratefully it responds. After that initial, life-giving glass of water has worked its quiet magic, I move directly into what I consider one of the best-kept secrets for feeling younger, sleeping more soundly, and even naturally elevating your mood. And, much like my first habit, its beauty lies in its utter simplicity. I step outside. That's the entirety of it. I open my door and welcome the morning light, whether the sun is blazing, the sky is draped in clouds, or there's a gentle coolness in the air. I'm not embarking on a brisk walk immediately, nor am I rushing to check the mail. I simply stand there, perhaps taking a seat on a comfortable chair on my porch, and allow the natural light to gently bathe my face and, importantly, my eyes, for about 10 to 15 minutes. It's a peaceful, grounding ritual, and over the years, it has become as essential to my well-being as breathing itself. You might be pondering, what on earth does just stepping outside for a few minutes have to do with the aging process? Well, as it turns out, it has almost everything to do with it. Our bodies are governed by a remarkable internal mechanism known as the circadian rhythm. Think of it as a highly sophisticated built-in master clock that orchestrates a vast array of our physiological functions, from our sleep-wake cycles and energy levels to our memory consolidation, digestive processes, and even the robustness of our immune system. And every single morning, this intricate internal clock needs to be reset to be synchronized with the natural world. The most powerful way we do this isn't with a jolt of caffeine or a hearty breakfast, but with light, specifically morning light. When you allow this early light to enter your eyes, ideally without sunglasses and not filtered through a window pane, you send a clear, unequivocal signal to your brain, essentially saying, "Wake up, the day has officially begun." This light exposure effectively recalibrates your body's natural rhythm, helping it understand when to produce energy-boosting hormones like cortisol in the morning and when to release calming, sleep-inducing hormones like melatonin at night. Without this vital light cue, the delicate gears of your internal clock can start to drift, and when that clock strays too far from its natural setting, almost everything can begin to feel off-kilter. Scientific studies have consistently shown that seniors who don't receive adequate morning light are significantly more likely to grapple with sleep disturbances, experience low moods, and even suffer from poor digestion. One particularly striking study found that missing out on this early light exposure can increase the risk of depression by nearly 70%. And yet, This profound connection is something most people remain completely unaware of. I certainly felt the difference when I committed to stepping outside each morning, even on those overcast days. My sleep quality improved dramatically. I started waking up feeling genuinely refreshed. I felt a greater sense of calm throughout the day. My energy levels became more steady and sustained, and even my digestion, which had been somewhat temperamental for years, began to noticeably improve. And here's the truly wonderful part. This powerful habit costs absolutely nothing. There are no pills to purchase, no gadgets to operate, no subscriptions to maintain, just you, the open air, and a little bit of glorious morning light. It is crucial, however, that the light reaches your eyes directly. Sunglasses will block the specific wavelengths your brain needs, and trying to soak it in through a window significantly diminishes its effectiveness. For this habit to truly work its wonders, you need to be out there, immersed in the real light of day. So I encourage you, tomorrow, give it a try. Even if it's just for 5 minutes to begin with, step outside. Let the breeze caress your face. Allow the natural light to gently greet your eyes. You don't have to do anything, simply be, and let your body remember the profound feeling of starting the day perfectly in rhythm with the world around you. This simple, free, and delightful habit plays a huge role in keeping me clear-headed, even-tempered, and truly rested. And I have a strong feeling it might just do the same for you. Now, let's transition into something I believe is just as crucial as staying hydrated or synchronizing with the sun, perhaps even more so, because what good is a physically healthy body if your mind isn't equally vibrant and resilient? This brings us to the third pillar of my morning routine, a practice I've affectionately come to call my 4-minute fire starter. And no, it's not a strenuous workout or a deep meditation session, though it possesses qualities of both, specifically tailored for your brain. Each morning, without fail, I dedicate exactly 4 minutes to focused, intentional mental stimulation. Just 4 minutes. That's all it takes to light a vibrant spark upstairs, to help keep my thinking agile, my memory keen, and my emotional state grounded and positive. I've been diligently practicing this for many years, and I honestly believe it's one of the most significant reasons I still feel as mentally clear and engaged in my 90s as I did when I was half my age. Here's how this little brain-boosting ritual unfolds. First, I kick things off with a quick mental challenge, usually a simple arithmetic problem. I don't reach for a calculator or a piece of scratch paper. I simply perform a few additions or subtractions in my head. Nothing overly complex, just enough to get those neurons firing and gently nudge my brain into active mode. Think of it as a series of light stretches before a brisk walk. It's a gentle, effective warm-up for your cognitive faculties. Then, I shift gears and immerse myself in recalling a vivid, cherished memory. I don't just pick any random old moment. I consciously try to conjure something that holds genuine personal significance. Perhaps the joyous celebration of my 30th birthday, or a memorable train journey I took with my sister when we were younger. I focus intently on the sights, the sounds, the smells, the emotions associated with that experience. It's like carefully dusting off the pages of a beloved photo album in my mind. And every time I do this, I'm not just exercising my memory, I'm also reinforcing my sense of self, my identity, and the rich tapestry of my life's experiences. Next, I set myself the small but stimulating task of learning 4 new words. Just 4. I keep a small, unassuming notebook by my bedside, and whenever I encounter an unfamiliar word, whether in a book I'm reading, a television program, or even a crossword puzzle, I jot it down. Each morning, I select 4 of these words, say them out loud, and spend a moment thinking about how I might naturally incorporate them into a conversation. It might seem like a trivial pursuit, but over time, it's akin to doing tiny, consistent push-ups for your vocabulary and, by extension, your confidence in expressing yourself. Finally, I close my eyes for a few precious seconds, take a deep, calming breath, and vividly visualize my day ahead. I try to picture it with as much clarity as possible, what I intend to do, whom I might interact with, and even how I want to feel as I navigate the day's events. This simple act helps me embark on my day with a sense of clarity and purpose, rather than just stumbling into it on autopilot. I'm consciously choosing to lead with intention. I'm choosing calm. I'm choosing focus. And the truly exciting part is that modern science robustly backs up this kind of mental engagement. Researchers at esteemed institutions like Harvard have found that this type of early mental priming can significantly boost something called neuroplasticity, which is your brain's remarkable ability to grow, adapt, and form new connections by nearly 37%. That's not an insignificant uptick. That's like shifting your brain from a gentle cruise control into a high-performance mode. I like to think of it this way. Your brain is a beautiful, intricate garden. If you water it, tend to it, and give it the right nutrients first thing in the morning, it will blossom and flourish throughout the entire day. But if you neglect it, weeds like brain fog, forgetfulness, or even the early stirrings of cognitive decline can slowly creep in, often when you least expect it. This little 4-minute fire starter has been my steadfast shield against such decline. I've maintained this practice through challenging times, through surgeries, during stressful seasons, and even on days when my spirits felt low. It's my personal way of affirming to myself, no matter what today may bring, I am showing up with clarity and mental fortitude. I don't live in constant fear of age-related cognitive diseases like Alzheimer's. I respect them profoundly, but I refuse to be paralyzed by fear, because every single day I am actively giving my brain the tools it needs to stay alert, connected, and vibrantly alive. And honestly, this isn't just about staving off decline, it's about preserving your precious freedom. Keeping your mind sharp means you can maintain your independence for longer, continue to make your own decisions, and truly savor the richness of the life you've built. So, here's my gentle challenge to you. Tomorrow morning, before the whirlwind of the day fully takes hold, gift yourself those 4 quiet, dedicated minutes. Try just one of the elements I mentioned. Perhaps recall a joyful memory in detail, or write down one new word you learned recently. Start small, but please, just start. Your brain is still listening, it's still adaptable, and it's never ever too late to remind it just how wonderfully capable it remains. Let me share a secret that, unfortunately, most folks over 70 never get to hear. You do not have to resign yourself to waking up in pain every single day. For many years, I too believed that those persistent morning aches and the frustrating stiffness in my joints were simply an unavoidable toll of getting older. I would dutifully begin each day trying to be good to my body, engaging in the kinds of stretches most of us are familiar with. You know the ones. Twist this way, bend that way, strain to touch your toes, or perform those old-school calisthenics routines that everyone swears by for maintaining limberness. But more often than not, by lunchtime, my back would be throbbing, my knees would feel puffed up and tender, and I'd find myself needing a nap just to muster the energy to get through the afternoon. I simply chalked it all up to the inevitable process of aging. As it turns out, I was profoundly mistaken. This brings us to my 4th daily habit, a practice that has quite literally transformed the way I move through life. And I don't use that word transformed lightly. I call it strategic mobility. This isn't yoga in the traditional sense. It's not classic forceful stretching, and it's definitely not anything that pushes my body beyond its natural comfort zone. This is something entirely different. It's gentler, significantly wiser, and far more effective for the unique needs of an aging body. Here's what I mean by that. Most conventional stretching routines were originally designed for younger, more elastic muscles and connective tissues. However, as we age, these tissues naturally become less flexible, and our joints become less forgiving. What might have felt beneficial and invigorating in our 40s or 50s can paradoxically cause inflammation or even micro tears in our delicate tissues when we're in our 70s, 80s, and beyond. And tragically, most seniors are never informed of this crucial distinction. So instead of straining my body through uncomfortable and potentially counterproductive stretches, I now provide it with what it truly needs. A slow, respectful 7-minute mobility wake-up call. I begin this routine in a seated position. Yes, comfortably sitting. There are no complicated poses, no need to get down on the floor, just a safe, supported place to start. Then I move with deliberate slowness. I gently roll my shoulders, circle my ankles, rock my hips softly from side to side, and rotate my spine just a few inches at a time in each direction. It's almost as if I'm having a quiet, respectful conversation with my body, gently saying, "Hey, good morning, I'm here for you. Let's get moving together, kindly and carefully." This short, focused flow specifically targets the areas that tend to stiffen up the most overnight: the spine, hips, ankles, knees, and shoulders. Each movement is small, incredibly intentional, and most importantly, completely pain-free. I don't force anything. I listen attentively to my body's signals. I breathe deeply and evenly, and I build the range of motion slowly and patiently. And do you know what happened after just 2 short weeks of consistently incorporating this daily practice? I was able to let go of the walker I had relied upon for nearly a year. No more clunky, cumbersome support, no more staring at curbs and stairs as if they were insurmountable obstacles like Mount Everest. A month later, I found myself confidently driving myself to the grocery store again. By the 6-week mark, I felt steadier on my feet than I had in many, many years. Not necessarily stronger in the sense that I could lift heavy weights, but infinitely more capable, more in control of my movements, more fluid. And here's the most beautiful and liberating part of all. I stopped fearing my own body. I no longer experience that jolt of panic when I step into the shower or need to get up in the middle of the night. I don't live in that constant underlying state of worry about falling, that quiet, pervasive anxiety that resides in the hearts of so many seniors is, for me, gone. Because when you consistently offer your body gentle, mindful mobility, it gives you something truly priceless in return: freedom. This isn't some form of magic. It's the practical science of meeting your body exactly where it is today, not where it used to be years ago. That fundamental shift in mindset is incredibly powerful. You're not trying to contort yourself into becoming a gymnast at 90. You're simply reclaiming the ability to enjoy your morning walk with ease, to lift your arms without a wince of pain, and to move through your own home with confidence and without hesitation. So if you've ever felt stiff, unsteady, or perpetually frustrated with your body's limitations, I want to wholeheartedly encourage you. There is a better, kinder way, and it doesn't require any special equipment, an expensive gym membership, or any fancy, complicated routines. Just 7 minutes of kind, conscious movement. No pushing, no forcing, just gentle progress, entirely on your terms. Try it tomorrow morning. Start seated, roll your ankles, rotate your spine gently, breathe deeply, move slowly, and just notice how your body responds when you treat it with patience instead of pressure. It truly changed my life, and I have a very strong feeling it just might change yours too. If you're over the age of 70 and you're still habitually skipping protein at breakfast, or perhaps just having a very light carbohydrate-focused start to your day, I want to gently but earnestly sound a note of caution. Your body might be quietly, almost imperceptibly, losing the precious muscle and strength it absolutely needs to keep you moving confidently and living independently. This isn't intended to be fear-mongering. It's simply an acknowledgement of how our bodies naturally change as we age and how we can proactively support them. You see, after we reach the milestone of 65, our muscles can begin to shrink at a more accelerated rate, a process known as sarcopenia, unless we take specific, consistent actions to counteract it. And one of the very best times to protect and nourish those vital muscles is first thing in the morning. I didn't always understand this crucial piece of the puzzle. For a long, long time, I, like many others, thought that a light breakfast, perhaps a simple piece of toast, a banana, or maybe just a cup of tea or coffee, was a perfectly adequate, gentle, and kind way to start my day. I was, however, mistaken. Compelling research, including studies from respected institutions like Tufts University, clearly shows that older adults who make a point of consuming a good portion of protein early in the day tend to preserve more of their lean muscle mass compared to those who wait until dinner to get their main protein intake. This is largely because after the long fast of a night's sleep, our muscles are particularly receptive and, in a sense, hungry for protein to repair and rebuild. If we miss this critical morning window, our bodies, in their innate wisdom to meet their immediate needs, may begin to break down existing muscle tissue to access amino acids for other functions. And once that hard-earned muscle is lost, it becomes significantly more challenging to regain it, especially as we get older. So I made a conscious and deliberate decision to change my approach. Now, I treat breakfast as my dedicated muscle meal. It's no longer something I rush through or, worse, skip altogether. It has become a non-negotiable priority. Most mornings, I aim to consume at least 25 grams of high-quality protein. Some days, this might look like 2 eggs cooked to my liking alongside a generous serving of cottage cheese. Other days, it could be a delicious and nutrient-packed smoothie blended with Greek yogurt, chia seeds, and fresh berries. And for those mornings when I'm particularly pressed for time, I ensure I have a ready-to-drink protein shake conveniently stored in the fridge. What matters most isn't the exact food, but the consistency of getting that protein in. This habit, however, isn't just about keeping my muscles strong and resilient. The benefits extend far beyond that. Sufficient morning protein also plays a significant role in providing sustained energy throughout the day, stabilizing blood sugar levels, which can prevent those mid-morning slumps, clearing away mental fog, and even contributing to a more positive and stable mood. And fundamentally, it's what empowers me to continue doing many of the everyday things that, sadly, many people my age have had to give up. Comfortably carrying my own groceries, managing the cleaning of my home, and confidently climbing stairs without assistance or apprehension. At 94, I'm not pursuing these habits to impress anyone. I'm doing it because I want to truly live my life, not just passively get by or merely exist. I cherish the ability to continue choosing my own clothes each day, making my own bed, and preparing my own meals, all without needing to depend on others for these fundamental aspects of daily life. And honestly, this one simple, consistent habit of prioritizing protein at breakfast has made all the difference in maintaining that cherished independence and vitality. Alright, I know I've just shared quite a bit with you. 5 morning habits that, while they may seem remarkably simple on the surface, possess the profound power to genuinely change how you age, how you feel each and every day, and how fully and joyfully you engage with your life. And here's a crucial thing to remember. You don't have to master all 5 of these habits perfectly right out of the gate, starting tomorrow. Nobody expects perfection, not me, and most certainly you shouldn't expect it of yourself. When I first embarked on this journey of mindful morning rituals, I was much like many others. I often woke up feeling stiff and achy, found myself dragging through the morning hours, frequently struggled to concentrate, and quietly wondered if this was just the inevitable, unchangeable reality of life after 70. But then, I made one small, intentional change, and then another. And slowly, incrementally, day by day, things began to shift in the most wonderful ways. My energy levels started to climb, my sense of balance noticeably improved, my mind became clearer and more focused, and my body gradually stopped protesting with those familiar aches and pains. Most importantly, I began to feel genuinely in charge of my own health again, not fragile, not fading, but vibrantly alive and actively thriving. Here's what I've learned over nearly a century of living. Aging itself isn't the enemy we often perceive it to be. The true adversary is feeling disconnected from your body, disconnected from your daily habits, disconnected from your mornings, and ultimately disconnected from your sense of purpose. How you choose to start your day truly does shape everything that follows. Your thoughts, your physical well-being, your emotional state, even the quality of your relationships. That first hour fundamentally decides if you're leading your day with intention or if you're merely trying to keep up with its demands. It determines if you're inadvertently losing strength or consciously building it. And the most empowering news of all is that you still have time, ample time to take the lead. Whether you're in your 60s, 70s, 80s, or even beyond, you are never, ever too old to make a positive, life-affirming change. It is never too late to start fresh. Your body is listening, Your brain is ready and eager to support you if only you provide them with the right kind of care and attention. So, here is my gentle, heartfelt invitation to you. Start tomorrow. Not next week, not when life feels a little less hectic, not when you feel perfectly ready, because that mythical moment of perfect readiness often never arrives. Just start. Pick one small habit from the ones I've shared. Maybe it's simply drinking that glass of water with a pinch of sea salt first thing. Perhaps it's stepping outside for 5 minutes to greet the morning light. Or maybe it's dedicating just 4 minutes to a quick brain exercise. You don't need a monumental surge of motivation to begin. All you need is a moment, a quiet, conscious moment where you affirm to yourself, "Today, I am choosing me." And from that single, powerful moment, everything can begin to change. If this message has resonated with you in any way, please do leave a comment below. Tell me, which habit will you try first? Or perhaps you're already practicing one of these or something similar. I would genuinely love to hear your story. Let's transform this comment section into a vibrant, supportive space where real people can uplift and inspire each other to live stronger, longer, and more fulfilling lives. And don't forget to share where you're watching from. This community we're building together is about so much more than just habits. It's about connection, shared experience, and mutual encouragement. You never know who might read your words and think, if they can do it, then maybe, just maybe, I can too. Finally, make sure you subscribe if you haven't already. I have so many more simple, science-backed, and heartwarming tips and insights coming your way. No fluff, no quick fixes, just real, practical tools for anyone who desires to stay independent, mentally sharp, and joyfully active as the years gracefully unfold. Because listen, at 94 years young, I live alone. I take no medications. I don't have a nurse checking in on me daily. But every single morning, I wake up feeling hopeful. Not because everything in my life is perfect, but because I have consciously built a morning routine that makes me feel strong, steady, and ready for whatever the day may bring. And with all my heart, I want that for you too. So, take a deep breath, believe that you are absolutely worth the effort, and tomorrow morning, do just one thing a little differently. Because growing older doesn't have to mean giving up or fading away. It can mean freedom. It can mean vitality. It can and should mean embracing the very best years of your life. I believe that with every fiber of my being, and I believe in you. I'll see you next time, my friend. Stay strong, stay curious, and most importantly, always be kind to yourself.